Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last nearly 10 months, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I am here to open my office door to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff that contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 to 3 hours, we'll see how it goes, to have a standard Q&A after I handle a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Unfailing Eagle, congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e. congratulations on being First Shatter. Meanwhile, Senior Researcher Alex, Amber, Silent Follower, Aoki, Carl, Zeardrin, Not Named John, everyone who I have just named, who also saw nothing, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Annie Stars, Intern Gonzalez, Rising Flame, Dr. Singer, and Vic Gonzalez, and you know what, Building Block as well. Thank you all for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you. Java name, I'll even add you to the punctual members shout out. Good to see you, hope you've been doing well. Now, a reminder, today's stream is sponsored by ourselves here at Site-42, you know? It's a new year, I am 1 year and change past my ankle injury, and as such, the ankle is healed, and it's getting back to the gym time. Because I don't know about you, but in Fallout, there's a perk named Nerd Rage. You can't have Nerd Rage unless you are both strong and smart. And we at the Foundation are the strongest and the smartest of them all. And so I'm hitting the gym, I'm getting stronger, it's exhausting, but I'm doing my best. And you can do your best too when you make the choice to join the Foundation Fitness Initiative. Because you don't have to be the fastest researcher to escape the containment breach. Just not the slowest. So, if you would like to join the Foundation Fitness Initiative, you can go to the link that Desk has shared in the chat, or at any time, you can go to beacons.ai/Site-42, which is always the Site-42 Beacon support link. So when we're having merch sales, when you want to find our other social medias, when you want to know what's going on with Site-42, you can always head to beacons.ai/Site-42. Thank you, Site-42, for supporting Site-42 and the general fitness of our Foundation fam. Eat rice and egg before going to the gym and eat meat after the gym. Java name, that sounds like good advice. Good protein plus the rice is carbs at the start. I like the way you're thinking. Now, I will admit, for me, pre-game for the gym is a Huel meal shake and or a protein shake from the 7-Eleven if I'm out, as well as a Red Bull. None of this is sponsored, by the way. And then I have a extra shake from the smoothie bar at the gym on my way out. And so, yes, long story short, you got to feed your muscle children. Gaining strength and losing weight are different things. And if you prioritize gaining strength, then weight loss, the shape of your body, that'll come with time. It's more important to be strong. Strong. You want to be strong so you can give good hugs. You want to be strong so you can lift heavy furniture to help your friends move. You want to be strong in case you are forced to wield soup for your family in self-defense. Thank you, Javaname, for getting me on a gym tangent. I appreciate it. Everyone in our chat needs to be strong to survive. Oh. Silent Follower. Thank you for the inaugural cat-eared Sherman of today's stream. A horror that I'm sure will be continuing throughout today. Usually and typically, when I am most dire and serious in my speech, I am sure. Further, we didn't even make it. Okay, we did make it 5 minutes. We're officially at 6.5 minutes when that happened. So at least we did make it 5 minutes. There is that. Now, today's stream subject, before I get to the donos, before I get to the general chat, today's stream subject is action movie SCPs. What SCPs would make a good action movie? Because what makes a good horror movie is very different than what makes a good action movie. I'm not looking for a suspenseful alien-esque like my pitch for an SCP-106 trapped in a haunted asylum film. No. I want something that's a little more run and gun today. And at first, we have a couple of contenders that I had right off the bat. Some of them are very common suggestions that I want to get out of the way. First of all, what happened to Site 13? SCP, what is it, 1730? What happened to Site 13? That is a horror action film ready to happen. That is just, hey, there's this Foundation facility full of monsters with some survivors. Go get them. This is right in the scene with the Resident Evil movies, which, yes, they're horror, but they're more of a horror action spectacle movie. And I like it. I want to see some crazy run and gun, jumping off the walls with Anomalies, especially since it's featuring Mobile Task Force Tau 5, codename Samsara. And as we know, Samsara are cyborg clone warriors born from the flesh of a dead god. And therefore, they are the Power Rangers of SCP. And you can get a lot of craziness out of the level of horror that is inside the facility, as well as Tau 5's highly skilled and weaponized selves. But the second of my 3 pitches for you, for SCP horror films, and throughout today's stream, but along the general Q&A, we will be discussing more SCPs that you guys think might be good horror action films. See, it's SCP, I think horror, but no, we can have action. And in fact, the second one that would make an excellent action film, SCP-5000. It's a road movie. There's all sorts of stuff going on. I don't know who Pietro is, but we can give Pietro some good scenes there. And it's not so much the power of the robot Power Rangers fighting Anomalies in the first one. No, this is a fleeing movie. This is, our guy is in a suit that protects him. But oh my god, is Pietro going to be running from everything. And that could lead to some very good chaos. Very good chaos. Countrywide road trip chaos. And finally, this one, I harped on it last year, and I'm not going to stop harping on it. Do not go gently into that Shark Night. A shark punching center tale that is literally written in the format of an action movie, including several action scenes, man-to-man, fighting kaijus. It needs to be a movie. We need the submarine. We need the flamingos fighting a kaiju. We need Kaiju Fight SCP. Sorry, SPC. So those are my common to uncommon action movie suggestions for SCP action films. But let's keep going here. I see people calling out Abel. Now, Abel is a combatant character, but the Abel scenario for the, if there's going to be an Abel movie, what you need is a story. You need something to go on. Probably something from the Alpha 9, was it Alpha 9? What was it when it was it Omega 7 when they were originally? Long story short, too late. My thought here is, our containment procedures for Abel are essentially a Darth Vader hallway scene from that Star Wars movie that you all know which one I'm talking about, and I can't remember the name of it right now. The one in between Last Hope and the previous three. The one where it's Cassian. What the heck? Rogue One! Thank you, intern Ezekiel. Thank you, intern Ezekiel. Yes, Rogue One. I kept saying Rebel something, but it wasn't Rebel Moon. That was a Zack Snyder thing. No, Rogue One. Abel escaping containment is like the opening oneer. It's your big action scene with the troops, with the turrets, with the weaponry, and Abel is just carving through them. That is the opening of an Abel movie. But the question is, what is the story afterwards? So, good for action scenes. I just want to know what the story is after the fact. Okay, I am double checking the back channels. So, throughout this thing, we will be talking more about SCP action films along with handling the general Q&A. Let me get the donations that happened during the initial housekeeping, starting with a Ko-Fi notification that I don't want to forget. So, refreshing the Ko-Fi. Fix Fishy, thank you for your, Yes, Fix Fishy. Thank you for your first donation of today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which has far less fees than a YouTube Super Chat. A Ko-Fi only takes 3% of your donation, a YouTube Super Chat takes 30%. So especially for larger donations, we greatly appreciate it if you make the effort to go to the Ko-Fi. And grab yourself a ceviche on your way past the commissary. Sorry for the 9980 scare 2 days ago. Yes, both 9006 and 9980 have some very fierce content warnings. So yes, caution at the very least. One of them has a good ending despite them. Also, the 59.99 video by Davis Morgan was indeed useful. Thank you. First of all, yes, I don't mind the content warnings. I can stomach a lot of ridiculous stuff. But it is good for the chat. You know, I've been working at the Foundation for a decade and change now, so I am familiar with all the gore, but there are cadets who need some trigger warnings, and we do our best to help them out. Furthermore, the Davis Morgan video, Fix Fishy. And I'm realizing now I don't know your actual name in the chat, but thank you for donating anyways, and I'll try to see your answer to this. Did you find the secret video? Did you find the secret video in Davis Morgan's SCP-5999 video? Because that's how deep the well that video goes. There's a secret video. Okay, well, I'm waiting for a response there. And Desk, if you see a response to that, please let me know. Building Block, thank you for your first and second donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pretzel on your way past the commissary. I will uncheck those, Building Block. I will answer your thing real quick. Did I just tell you to get something from a pretzel? You get a pretzel, like a big pretzel. Spretgi, yes, there is a secret video. Go back and find the secret video. You've only gotten one part of the experience, my friend. All right, Building Block. Is there a Gentleman Thief SCP? Desk is letting me know in the back channels that SCP-2... No. SCP-4494, The Spectre Fights for Justice. No, that's your second one, which was 4494, The Spectre would make for an action film. Yes. I mean, obviously, The Spectre is more of a film noir, a more gritty police drama thing going on. But definitely, well, not that gritty. We have to go back into film noir, so it's gangstas, and it's car chases with pistoles. Gentleman Thief SCP. Now, there it is. Desk is letting me know 8944 is codename Sticky Fingers. And codename Sticky Fingers sounds like it's a thief. So that could be a pretty fun one. Researcher Tambari, the time check is we are 15 minutes into stream. We are going for 2 to 3 hours today. So we are just getting started. I'm just catching up on the donos before our standard Q&A. Fallen Libra, thank you for your 8 months of membership, including being an overseer here at Site42. We appreciate your leadership and helping us win the battle against the white names. So thank you for your membership and your service. Hey, Doc, sorry I've been dark on the comms. Field mission has been keeping me busy alongside my cover job. Absolutely understandable, Fallen Libra. I hope you've been doing well. It's good to see you again. And yes, I understand life keeping you busy. And Cool Man Fight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself an iced tea on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. What would you do with a pack of death claws from the Fallout TV show? Well, I would keep them from injuring the public. Those are anomalous in their nature, in our timeline at least. Therefore, we shouldn't have them bandying about. There's probably some excellent studies we can do on their mutated DNA to help us with scientific research on other anomalies. Desk would also like to let you know that the SCP-2786, codename The Archetype, could be an interesting action movie. Now, The Archetype has you, is a character going through fictional stories and getting in fights. And so that gets very meta very quickly. And of course, depending on who you're playing as or who your point of view character is, you're going to take a Neo from the Matrix kind of approach to basically taking the fight to the director of the movie at some point, I would imagine. Furthermore, you mentioned the Red Pool Desk, which of course, it's a monster spawner. The only thing is it's a monster spawner we have pretty well contained, so although it lets out demons, we'd have to have a scenario where it basically got loose or something, where it overpowered us, to have almost like a disaster movie kind of situation, with just an unending pour of monsters that we can't contain, maybe. All right, I have caught up with the donos, thankfully. We will move on to the general Q&A after one more piece of housekeeping I forgot, which is, yesterday, we gave a stream feature to SCP animations done by YouTuber Don Gendaz. And first of all, Don Gendaz, I believe, based on their accent, might be in a different time zone, but they did eventually respond to basically everybody from Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Boosters who went over to comment on their video, which is epic and kind of them. And so I just want to give a shout out to Handuan, Dr. Clef's Third Eye, Amber, Researcher Voidel, Zerdrin, Tiger Claws Gaming, Director Ethan, Scarlet Fox VT, Minty Andrea, Dark Duality, Eloise the Lemon, Puppet Boy, Amelia Buck, SCP-049 Plague Doctor, ARG Sands, Dr. Smythe, Avari, Best Puppy Corn, Charger Blaze, Ella Sprite, Desk, Some Person Perhaps, Dr. Frogman, Alonzo the Blue, Aurora Hunter Mark, Spritgi. I don't know if you did that for us or on your own, but if you did, excellent, excellent. everyone who commented to help out Dongan Don's videos, thank you very much for being a contributing member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters. You get a gold star for participation today. And Aoki, you'll get your gold star when you remember to do the thing. Doctor, I have a question. What happens to a site when the warhead explodes? Intern Rosie, what happens to most things when a nuclear warhead explodes? That happens. Well, hello there, Dr. Sherman. My men have been wondering if you'll ever visit us here in London. Well, I don't know, man. I'm a little claustrophobic when it comes to underground facilities. Might just pass on that invitation. I like the daylight. I like the sun. Cool man fight. Thank you for donating again to say. Should I worry that the SCP Foundation given me the cover job at Spider and Snake side of a pet store? Can I be given another cover job so I don't get any ideas fusing them together? You are in control of your own mind and discipline. You can simply not try to genetically fuse the snakes and the spiders. I think this is exposure therapy to learn you some discipline to get you to stop. So I suggest you fulfill your duties as they are written on the dossier. Do they rebuild the site right after, Doctor? Well, Intern Rosie, once the warhead explodes, any anomalies that were strong enough to survive a nuclear warhead will probably skedaddle. So we'd have to recontain those. But you are dealing with a place where a nuclear warhead went off, which is a lot of fallout. So I do not believe we would rebuild it immediately. There would have to be some environmental factors taken into account first. Dr. Sherman, I like your hair. Well, thank you, Intern Knox. I think as it's fading from its very vibrant colors, it's starting to get a little more mellow, which I do appreciate. Plus, you can see the blue is starting to go hot Sherman Miku again. Because for some reason when I do blue, it always turns teal. Dr. Sherman, what does your shirt say? Well, not a Chaos Insurgency spy. Thank you for giving me a shameless plug for the Foundation Fitness Initiative. The SCP Foundation's fitness initiative to keep our Foundation researchers and Mobile Task Force members in physical condition of the peak variety. That way, when there's a containment breach, you are able to outrun the anomaly that's chasing you. It has done a great job of keeping our Foundation staff members alive, and we have had a lot less deaths since people joined it. So please get yourself your membership shirt and hit the gym, people, so we can be strong. Strong and faced. Knights in Skyro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on your way past the commissary. Mankind is dead. Blood is fuel. Hell is full. Hold on, wrong script. Meant to ask, any SCPs with a focus on affecting the cardiovascular system? Okay, well, for one thing, Desk is allowing me in the back channels access to SCP-466, codename Mobile Veins. Mobile Veins. It is unknown if SCP-466 is a separate pathogen affecting a human host or the human host itself. Current theory suggests the former. For clarity, the host individual will be referred to as -2 and the possible infective agent as -1. Description. 466-2 is a redacted. -2 exhibits anomalous vascular hypertrophy, particularly along the skin. This includes very broad arteries and veins, not part of any normal human anatomy. The continually increasing mass of blood vessels is gradually displacing and eroding -2's muscles and organs. -2 is estimated to have approximately single-digit liters of blood. The excess vessels will sometimes rearrange under the skin, which is extremely painful. If the host or hypothesized pathogen is threatened, the excess vessels will physically tear the skin and extend up to single-digit meters outwards. These defense vessels will constrict threats until neutralized. If cut, they hemorrhage as expected, and will be replaced by more vessels from deeper inside -2's body. As demonstrated by the rearrangements, -1 displays some degree of control over the mobile vessels when inside the body. This control is utilized when -2 consumes food. If -2 does not consume the entire meal, -1 will use the collective strength of the mobile vessels to force feed -2. This is advantageous for -1. It appears that nutrients go primarily to expansion of the mobile vessels. Okay. There's a lot more to that document if you wish to read more, but suffice it to say, that certainly answers your question in spades. Haunted Researcher, thank you for your 5 months as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Hi, Dr. Sherman. 5 months strong now. Hell yeah, that's half the time we've been streaming. And we're going to keep it up. We're going to hit that 1-year anniversary coming up in a couple months. Just a Local Man, thank you for your thumbs up, as well as a cadre of makeup brushes. I am sure this Containment Hazard Assessment team will both be very positive and very slay, thanks to your contribution. Fallen Libra, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as it being an extremely generous donation, as well as, of course, being a member here at Site-42. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to head over to the site commissary. I want you to go through the back, and I want you to talk to the head chef. Because the head chef is... I wasn't going to spoil this, but next weekend, we are having a visit from SCP-5031 on site. We are going to have several elite staff members gifted with a meal of their choice, utilizing the commissary's ingredients and SCP-5031's extreme Michelin star rated culinary skill. And you just earned yourself the meal of your choice. Spare no expense, it's on me. Thank you for your generous donation to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. Hey, Dr. Sherman, since my cover job requires me to monitor phone communications as well as distribute them, is it bad that I managed to obtain a Chaos Insurgency agent's phone? Why would that be a bad thing? Obviously, they might have some tracking tech on it, and so we got to be careful with it. But do you know what we could do with a little bit of spying on their signals? Please turn that into security personnel, and let's get some intel. Intern Cruz, thank you for donating to make a stupid joke that everybody in chat knew before you said it. You are not funny. Your parents failed you. Do better. At least tell funny jokes in my chat. Just Pit. There's a meme of saying, shout out my friend, their name is... and then it's a barely disguised slur. What about the rake, Doctor, please? Intern Afton, what do you want to know about the rake? You need to tell me what is your inquiry, what is your question, especially because the rake is not an SCP. So any information on it, I would have to look up. So, hey, fill me in on what you want to know. O96 looks like his twin. Well, first of all, remember, any anomaly, we treat them like objects, not people. So the Rake, O96 both, they are its. Not he's, not she's, its. We don't humanize anomalies because then you might sympathize with them. And then you might try to free them because, oh no, we're imprisoning them for life, oh no. So, yeah, they're objects, not people. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. But yes, they are very similar in look, as are, say, the Wendigos from the game Until Dawn, very O96 Rake-like. It is a very common human fear for the uncanny valley of that tall, emaciated, longer than should be limbs, sharp teeth and the like. It's a very common fear. There are multiple anomalies that look similar. Intern Elise, welcome to Site42 Staff. Thank you for subscribing. Intern Eman, yes, this is SCP Foundation Conversation. Welcome to Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. I'm Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here, to answer your queries about this dark and mysterious place we're all working at, the SCP Foundation. What do you think about the brain rot SCP running free right now? Intern Ramses, are you talking about the SCP Wish I Knew, which is the most recent one? Are you talking about the SCP-67 meme, which is the previous one? Or is there a new SCP brain rot that I don't even know about yet? I want to ask why the SCP the Succubus got a retcon. Well, because the first one was kind of gross. Why did you feel the need to make your minor character subsist on human sexual reproductive fluids? It was basically just weird for weird's sake because the SCP Foundation started on 4chan and was super edgy because of it. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say, wait, donate again or? No, you member message earlier. It's your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a chicken cordon bleu on your way past the commissary. What SCPs are more humanized than others? There are some anomalies that are strong enough or more difficult to contain if we are cold to them. Remember, we're cold, not cruel. But if we are cold to them, then they are actually more likely to escape, such as the Greek gods we contain. We contain the Greek gods because they allow us to. Otherwise, they would not stay in their cells if we were rude to them. So we have to treat them within more congenial parameters for that reason. So yes, we only treat SCPs as more human if we need to keep them contained, or if they graduate, if they prove their loyalty and usefulness to be promoted to staff members of the Foundation. If you're working for us, you get your pronouns back. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a brisket sandwich on your way past the commissary. I feel like an anomaly sometimes. Well, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. But, you know, we all feel a little strange from time to again. We all feel a little out there, but we're all part of a community. We're all together. We're all individuals within this commune, this community. And so you got to find your balance of if you feel as part versus apart. If you're actually talking about it having anomalous abilities, though, then we need to chat with security. I want to ask what makes the SCP-001 as having so many versions, but none of them is true. Intern E-Man, that is because out of universe, the SCP authorship, the people who write our stories, make us come to life like little puppets, they decided that the SCP-001 slot was too prestigious for one person to hold. And so, they decided that it would be held as a reserved spot for everyone to make their proposal for what 001 is. And so, it's sort of a rite of passage for people who have written enough SCPs that they want to write something a little more grandiose and make that their 01 proposal. I keep getting visions of analog horror Clef. I think I saw someone saying, when is analog horror Sherman? And that frightens me as a concept. But I would at least peek at it. Silent Follower, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. That way, they know they deserve awards, but they still could do better. Very good. The brain rot SCP goes inside devices and rots the brain of children. Opinion? Ramses, So you're talking about an SCP that is the concept of brain rot, then? I'm still a little unclear. Avari, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the Containment Hazard Assessment team will remember to keep it 100 thanks to your contribution. Oh, desk. In the back channels, this does not qualify as analog horror Dr. Sherman. This is a mess of its own making. Intern King, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some melon balls on your way past the commissary. And watch out, grenade, 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 grenade. Oh, okay, you must be near those ICE agents who are dealing with the new iteration of the Dadonut machine. So yes, just keep your distance. I'm sure that those ICE agents will get their just desserts soon enough. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again to say you're welcome for that. Lamau. Yes, thank you for the infinite interruptions to the propriety of this stream that you have caused. Oh, thank you. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say, add a couple scary filters, then it would count. You know, I wouldn't be shocked. Dr. Sherman, I just submitted my application to become an SCP writer. Good luck, Intern Pogged. Make sure to follow all of the protocols because a lot of people get rejected because they miss some archaic piece of the rules that if they had paid attention, it would have been easy. But because they're rushing, they have problems. Dr. Sherman, saying the word grenade over and over again is a trick to get you to say the N-word. Really? Do people just not pronounce it and mush it together? Or like mess with the audio somehow? Huh. I don't see it, but hey, crazier things have happened. Time check, intern Shadow Milk. We are currently 40 minutes in this 2 to 3 hour stream. Silent Follower, thank you for sending a floating heart to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain that they will feel the love. And Fallen Libra, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure their power to be third place will be entrenched, and maybe they'll make their way up to further heights. I saw a short about that. Interesting, Dr. Frogman. I'm going to look that up later. I guess I could see it if you slur your words a little bit. Thankfully, as someone who does all this voice acting, I tend to over-enunciate. ARG Sands, did I thank you for the keeping it 100? If not, thank you for keeping it 100. And in the meanwhile, thank you, Aflac, for letting me know there's a Ko-Fi notification that I missed. Aflac, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Make sure to grab yourself a milkshake on your way past the commissary. I've been roaming all my life, but now I've found a lady wife. I'm staying right here. No, I won't go sailing no more. I won't obey the ocean's call. I'm staying right here. I'll be a man of the land. I'll be a man of the trees. I'll be a man wherever my woman will be. I don't know the song, but that is sweet. I don't know the song, but that is sweet. Good for them. Love the thumbnail. It's amazing. Thank you, Lanny the Demon Angel. I actually quite enjoyed that. That was not this past year, but 2 years ago at MetroCon Tampa. And I found a nice cadre of Mobile Task Force cosplayers, and we were able to put on a couple good shorts and skits and photographs, and it was a very good time. I look forward to it because I will be returning to MetroCon in 2026. I've already booked my hotel to get a better rate at a distance, so if you are in Florida on the last weekend of July, which is coincidentally basically my birthday weekend, then I'll see you at MetroCon. We'll have a party. It's called The Retirement Song. Interesting, Affleck. I'll have to check that out. And Silent Follower, thank you for sending a flower to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure it smells very pretty. Got some awesome news. I'm going to be doing a D&D session with my friends in improv. I'm going to be DMing. Also, going to be my first time doing D&D, so that's fun. Very nice, and I'll have you know, the best people to play D&D with are improv people. Because there's, for me at least, I'm not so much into the crunchiness of the rule sets. I'm into the storytelling aspect. I did a 2-year-long weekly campaign. You know, we took some weeks off for holidays or this and that, but we're mostly consistent. And it was a 10-person Fate game with my friends who worked at the anime convention in the Ren Fair circuit. So we had a hoot for the role-playing in those games. So, yeah, you have hella fun. Hey, Dr. Sherman, have you ever been to Site 418 or 387? No, 387 is part of Site 19. Also, what's your opinion of the AEED at Site 169? Considering we have different pronoun protocols and stuff. I have not been to either of those sites in my tour. I actually haven't worked at any other site besides 42. I mean, I've visited a couple other sites now and then, but I'm mainly kind of a homebody for Site 42, thankfully. And I don't even know what the AEED is at Site 169, but I can look it up real quick. But my first guess, based by what you said, is that Anomalous Entity Engagement Division. The idea is probably that, depending on the site director, the researchers involved, the anomalies involved, different sites having different pronoun parlance protocol procedures would not be terribly shocking. I do know, I believe Benjamin Kondraki was a big advocate for anomalous entities' rights while he was still, well, alive. Fallen Libra, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, I was just notified by Oats BK. They managed to find another Chaos Insurgency base through the phone I recovered. Oh, well, Oats and their insane troop of SCP-1507s seem to be pretty adept at that. So, excellent collaboration, team. What is your next plan of action? Wasn't that Dr. Wright's? Probably Wright's as well, although I'm not familiar as much with Wright's dossier. But I would not be shocked if that were the case. Ooh, sorry about the earthquake. There we go. Dr. Sherman, how many vacant SCP numbers do you think are available? Well, Pogged, I know for a fact that most of the early series are completely full, but let me show you how you can figure this out. So if you go to the SCP database, and let's just start from the home page, then in the top left you have the sidebar, and then this area right here, SCP by series. So if you go into Series 1, you see a listing of every SCP and its title. And so, of course, Series 1 is completely full. I don't know of any deletions that have happened recently. But if we jump to Series 10, which is our most recent series, then you can see, okay, these are all full. But access denied. That means the slot is open. Access denied. The more access denieds you see, the more slots are available. So the 9,000s are fairly full, but not completely. There's plenty of slots available in the 9,000s. We will not be doing the 10,000 contest soonish. It should be about a year out if we're guessing properly. There we go. Returning to the chat. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again. What SCPs work for the Foundation? Which SCPs work for the Foundation? So I could start really easily by going to the Mobile Task Force listing, because we do have one mobile task force that is still completely made of anomalies. So if you look at Mobile Task Force Alpha 9, codename Last Hope, then SCP Mobile Task Force Alpha 9 has Kane, Iris, I don't know, Rainer Miller, I don't know, yet another murder monster, I don't know. But we could also hover. So Iris, PS HUD 31, recovered K-class scenario research device, Major Alexei Belitrov of the Red Army's 22nd Armored Infantry Division, i.e. the Bug Soldier. We have a Total Ripoff, don't know what that is. Invictus, don't know what that is. Rainer, Last Call, don't know what you are. The Spectre Fights for Justice. Hell yeah, the Spectre. Murder Monster. Despite all my rage, I am still just a bird in a cage. Born neath a lucky star. No more japes. The Telekill Ally. And the Racist's Hammer. So, that is a good authority group of anomalies that work for the Foundation as a mobile task force. Dr. Sumerian is anomalous. Trigger warning on SCP-7700, which Dr. Sumerian's anomaly is activated, but does in fact almost die. So, trigger warning for that. Just Pitt. The Racist's Hammer, as in it belongs to racists. So essentially, if you say white power while holding the Racist's Hammer, SCP, what is it, 8814? Yeah, because it's It's 8-8 for Heil Hitler, and it's 14 for 14 words. Of course it is. And so if the racist holds the hammer and says the code phrase, they become superpowers. They become a superhero. But it's not like they're unkillable. And so we send them in first, because usually they're a bunch of assholes who don't follow instructions. So we send them into situations and get them killed, and then let the next racist Thor take the next attack. Affleck, thank you for donating this time to the Super Chat. Let's use SCP-666-J to deal with the Chaos Insurgency. I don't remember what 666-J is off the top of my noggin. Oh, Dr. Gerald's driving skills. I am still utilizing SCP-666-J in some testing right now. You may see it on the database soon. Desk knows what I'm talking about. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again to say, what's MetroCon like? So MetroCon is a fairly chill anime and video game convention in the summer in Tampa, Florida. It is a pretty nice large facility, the Tampa Convention Center. It is waterfront, so there's a lot of pretty stuff. There's good food trucks outside, because Convention Center food is not it. The hotels are real close, walkable toward most of them, because downtown Tampa is pretty condensed. And the gimmick of MetroCon that no other convention has is the original runners of MetroCon partnered with people who were descended from Renaissance fair combat chess shows. And so there are multiple theatrical shows throughout MetroCon that you do not see at other conventions. Stunt shows, fire shows, the ballroom dance show that I used to be the director of. So it's a very entertaining convention. I, of course, go back because most of my friends work the convention still. And so it's one place to go back in the summer, see all my friends at once, and also hang out with you guys now that I am an SCP guy and there's a SCP fans at the convention. Last year, our panel for the SCP convention that I hosted had like 90 people show up. It was epic. It's in the VODs for our live stream streak if you want to go back to last summer. Has D-Class ever been promoted? I can't think of a time when a D-Class has ever been promoted out of D-Class, but I do know there's at least one SCP. Now, we're not supposed to know about this, but we discovered it and we're just letting them handle it. SCP D-Class containing it. SCP-2439 is an SCP where the Foundation staff don't know about it. Only the D-Class, no SCP-2439 exists, and they are containing it. And so it's a fairly short one that you should check out, but it's the D-Class are running this entry for some reason. Dr. Sherman, what about SCP-9341? Oates, did D-9341 get promoted? I actually haven't read 9341 yet, even though I do know it is the SCP Containment Breach SCP. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed that they managed to do that and make a good SCP out of it, considering the subject matter. A lot of things that are just aping something else don't normally come out so good, so congratulations to them. But because I haven't read it, I don't know the fate of D-9341. I know it's an SCP document, but I don't know if we actually let D-9341 be a staff member at the end of it or something like that. now designated SCP-9341, that is. The OG, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Sherman, are there any SCPs that are skinwalkers, please? Well, Intern Afton, there is literally an SCP that's codename is Navajo Skinwalkers. So yes, that one, SCP Skinwalkers, is SCP number 2750, is the Navajo Skinwalkers. Oh, hello there, Miss Charlie. Oh, you're so excited that I acknowledged you. Oh, you're doing a little roly-poly jig because you're so excited. Well, since you came to say hi, I better let you say hi to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team, or they'll get real mad at me. Hello, Charlie. Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie, has come to say hi. She was very excited on the floor when she found out that's my fingy. Yes. What do you want? Oh, are you a pirate's parrot today? Is that what you want? You want to be up here? No, you want to be... Where you want to be? Choose your place. The kisses are wonderful. Come back here. Be comfortable. There you go. Yes, my nose needed cleaning, that's for sure. This is Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie, without the E and a heart over the I. We do not know her exact breed yet because we found her abandoned in the street on Christmas Eve, the most tragic thing to ever happen to a sweet little puppo. But she is definitely some sort of min-pin mix, we believe. We think she might be mixed with a dachshund, if not a chihuahua. A rat terrier mix, you say? And so we do not know if Charlie has any anomalous abilities or not. We are still testing. But she is the sweetest pumpkin. Okay, be free. And here, I give you treats. There you go. Snacky, snacky, snacky. And now I will wash my hands in addition to my allergy meds to make sure I can still continue to stream without perishing. The things I do for you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You're welcome. Dr. Sherman has allergies. Yes, I am allergic to cats and dogs. It is a sad fate. Okay, returning to the chat. Desk, what the hell? Desk, what the hell? Well, I have to show the chat now. This is the desk's iteration of analog horror Dr. Sherman. I am certainly horrified. Wow. Wow. The beginning of a beautiful nightmare. Do you still do SCP Foundation shorts? Yes, intern Chevis. We still release daily SCP Foundation shorts. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating twice again. Secondly, to say good job to Desk. And then, have any D-Class earned their release? Well, that really depends on your canon. Sometimes the Foundation is very kindly and allows the D-Class to leave after their 30 days of service. Sometimes the SCP Foundation hands them a cup of amnestic-laced soda pop so that they are put back into population not having remembered that they completed their 30 days. Sometimes they are just terminated at the end of service. It depends on different situations. Like the stream to show support. Well, yes, intern Catherine, I agree. Like the stream to show support. We need more likes and viewers, so the YouTube algorithm will bring us more fresh meat. Furthermore, a reminder that Java Name somehow foolishly challenged themselves that if we have a stream that has 1,000 likes, then something is going to happen. And so, we need a stream with 1,000 likes for something to happen. Now, we are at hour 1 of today's 2 to 3 hour stream, so we'll see how we continue along the way. Unfailing Eagle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pudding pop on your way past the commissary. My God, zoom in, enhance, 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 enhance. Yes, that happened. Is the forgettable drink to be anything other than soda pop? If I get demoted to D class, I'd like a chocolate milk. Yes, intern Cocoa Paws, we can put amnestics in chocolate milk. That is possible. You saw nothing. Beef Harrow, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep reaching for that silver and gold one day. Not Mr. Beast. You are correct. We are not Mr. Beast. We are not giving money away. We are not doing any sort of death challenges for fun. At the SCP Foundation, our death challenges are for science. Completely different. Dr. Sherman, may I raid the Chaos Insurgency base me and Fallen found? Well, I'd like a little more intel on what your plans are than just can we raid the base. I require a mission briefing. I would like to see what you guys are up to, what you wish to achieve. Is it just total annihilation? Are you going to capture a person to use as an informant? Are you going to retrieve any anomalies that they have in store? These are questions I need answered before I approve any mission. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say, isn't there an SCP that is a literal death challenge for money? I'm sure there's at least one. Give me a second. Intern Gideal, Intern Shifty, and Intern Clippy J. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Furthermore, I think at the very least, we could say, does Misfortune Gorge have a cash prize? Misfortune Gorge SCP. SCP 7007 is an anomalous game show by group of interests VKTM, Vikander Need Technical Media, otherwise known as Victim. And they kidnapped several Foundation staff members and put them through a death game. Now, I don't know if this death game actually had a cash prize. What choice do you have besides who want to test their fates for the chance to win such incredible prizes? Several prizes have been displayed, including a neon yellow 2022 Toyota Camry, a gold-trimmed Rolex-branded watch, a $50 gift card to the VKTM.com online store, and a brown paper bag with oil stains. Okay, well, they did, in fact, have some prizes. So there's SCP 7007 for one of them. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, your hair just reminded me of a nebula. Oh, interesting. I guess I could see some of the swoops and the colors happening in the sky. Desk is letting me know that, I mean, there's always SCP-2030 Laugh is Fun, which is another death game show, or it's more of a prank show, really. But there is no cash prize on Laugh is Fun. Is he doing this on 2 different platforms? Intern Ender, no. I am only streaming right here in a YouTube Shorts vertical feed. Dr. Sherman, it's not imprisonment for SCPs, it's free housing. Don't look into it too much. Well, of course! I mean, they have to pay for room and board out there. When we contain them, they are cared for. They are well kept. I mean, if we don't keep them well, they die and we can't research them. So, of course, they want to stay with us in containment, and you should not think about the moral quandary involved there at all. What happened to Strelnikov? He free my boy. Intern Gasty, did something happen to Agent Strelnikov? I'm not familiar with Agent Strelnikov's dossier in full, so I don't know if that agent came to an end or something. He read a security briefing I took very seriously. Well, Intern Ghastly, you should take every security briefing seriously. Even the ones that Gears had to give about not sticking your dick in Aquafina water bottles thanks to Dr. Kondraki's antics. Even that one should be taken deathly seriously. Don't do it. Corrupted Naility, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a latte on your way past the commissary. What do you think of the Department of Ryza? Very important to the Foundation. Pivotal in keeping secrets and data secure. So obviously we love Ryza. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say. Did you know the YouTuber Grilled Cheese who became a D-Class? I have heard a little bit about the Grilled Cheese channel D-Class scenario. I haven't looked into it too deeply. I need to catch a look at that. Do-do-do-do. What would happen if we put SCP-799 on the Shy Guy? Well, I don't remember 799 by its designation number fully. Is that the gas mask? Is that... members of 799. You said 799, right? Yeah, you said 799, Intern Bentley. 799. Members of 799 vary in shape and superficial appearance, but always retain the appearance of a knit or woven item of bedding, made from an unfamiliar but very soft natural fiber. Okay. An individual's mass ranges from 0.5 to 6 kilograms and does not change except through ingestion or excretion. So any immediate increase in area comes at the expense of thickness of fabric and weight. The blanket retains heat unusually well. Its coloration markings are highly variable. The items are living organisms, most similar in physiology and structure to data expunged. Although alternate hypotheses suggest fungal origins. Although well insulated, they are apparently cold-blooded, hence their adaptation for use by intelligent homeotherms. Instances of 799 are usually torpid and incapable of movement, requiring little nutrition. What they do need, they draw from organic detritus present in household dust. So they are living blankets that eat household dust and heat. Okay, does it do anything? In a carnivorous phase, the organism will not feed on inanimate objects or cold-blooded animals. Dr. Blank hypothesized that senses are entirely limited to touch and heat. Individual's mass reaches a certain minimum. Takes on a more quilt-like appearance. Single large mouth, lined with rhodactid. 799, individual waits for a large animal to wrap up in it and become asleep before opening his mouth, tearing off a few kilograms of biomass and consuming it. Biomass is reduced to a thin slurry almost immediately. So, we know 096 can lose a lot of biomass and still keep ticking. So even if 096 were to sit still enough for this entity to chomp on it, it's not going to do that much. Coco Paws, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a bagel on your way past the commissary. Favorite way to misuse the femur breaker? I'm actively glitching out. So, I mean, first of all, is on anyone who annoys me. If we've got a bone healing anomaly on site, then using the femur breaker just to disabuse someone of being annoyance to me is a great strategy. Works every time. But, barring having that aside, I guess it's useful for... It's a good bender. It's a good bender for when Bending Rodriguez is not in town. You can bend a lot of things with a femur breaker. Something strong enough to bend a femur or break a femur can also bend things quite well. Or break things. Vinder, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will remember to strive for silver and gold because of your reminder of their third placeness. Dr. Sherman, the goal is to leave nothing more than a crater at their base. Then I don't approve your submissal. We can, yes, I do love blowing up the Chaos Insurgency bastards, traitorous as they are, but we can get more useful things from the scenario. I want to hear some interrogation going on. I want to hear some anomalies recontained. We don't destroy anomalies, and destroying their base would destroy the anomalies within. You got to be more thorough. ARG Sands, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll remember to keep it 100. Thanks to your reminder. And Brenda, thank you for sending a happy poop to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the poop has pleased them. Because it was happy. Not because they like poop in general. Desk wants you to know, Coco Paws, that using the femur breaker for walnuts is highly effective. Put the tickle monster on the screen, you say, intern Ethan Job. Well, for that request, I'm going to require a little something from you, because you want me to go get a tickle monster? Why don't you make it worth my while? Why don't you, grease the palms of the site director, huh? You want to see the tickle monster on screen? Make a deal I can't refuse. How about that? Timor Occultus, thank you for sending a sundae to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they enjoyed that delicious sundae. I don't know, Guy. Thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. You all saw nothing. Brenda, thank you for sending a party hat to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am pretty sure it sits pretty cunning. Ethics Committee is trying to recruit me. Is it worth the headache? Well, researcher wanted beverage. I would be afraid of that if I have read the Ethics Committee orientation. The Ethics Committee orientation is quite a, how you say, trial and tribulation. And so, yes, I highly recommend. I mean, it's at a plus 2151 rating on the database. People really like the Ethics Committee orientation. So give that a read, and you'll see whether it's a good idea or not. This reminds me of that one Tumblr post pointing out bots trying to rizz up Dr. Sherman. What the hell are you talking about, Pitt? What the hell is that? I am disturbed and perturbed. I am perturbed. Cocoa Paws, thank you for donating again to say, car beeping outside, what SCP do I sick on them? Don't sick an SCP on them, just send security staff to dispatch them. Yes, it's Pitt, you have just... Desk was going to tell me something, and now you've completely waylaid Desk onto another subject. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now. Corrupted Nihility, thank you for donating again to say. Rosie here, Doctor. Here's an operative of Alpha 1 at the request of the Overseer Council. They're requesting another meeting, budget and stuff. It's always about the budget. And winter budgets are always the worst. They're always the most cranky when it's cold. And so budgets get slashed here and there. Listen, I'm going to try and keep our paychecks as they are, but they might F us on the commissary budget, which would severely limit our resources. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I can. Stick! Thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I will be certain that they work harder to win silver and gold in the future. Dr. Sherman, off-topic question, but are you a femboy? Intern Harrow, what the hell are you talking about? What about this screams femboy to you? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just not my oeuvre, I guess. What? Use your eyes, man. Alexander the Cat, thank you for sending a hundo to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it one hundo. Heard they rise the budgets like a 90%, Doctor. Oh, jeez. Well, you better be keen-eyed on your documentation because Ryza's not going to be overseeing nearly as much of it. So, we're going to be resetting that days since breach counter sooner than later, I guess. Intern Mixat, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Love SCP stuff? Well, that's wonderful for you, Intern Skittles. You found the right place on YouTube for that. The SCP Foundation is a wonderful place. Why does Site 42 get the best shirts while the rest of us Chaos Insurgency get ugly armor and helmets? I think of switching from the Chaos Insurgency to Site 42. Well, obviously because our site director is a fashionista. It's bad for the budget, but it's great for morale. And that's important. Morale is important. Those grungy Chaos Insurgency scrubs know nothing about it. No. You gotta do the hair, you gotta do the t-shirts, you gotta do the Hawaiian shirts. You've got to sound. You got to look good to feel good. When you take care of yourself out in the world, you feel better, you act better. It is proven. So zhuzh up that wardrobe. Do it. Don't be lazy. Can I wear jeans on site? Amber, yes, jeans are allowed as part of dress code. They are a very hardy fabric. It's very protective. Walking around in slacks is just dangerous. That fabric cuts really easily, unless you get a sort of ballistic weave in your slacks, but that's a different story altogether. Intern Bonnie, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Sherman, are there any other anomalous stores other than IKEA? Well, intern Bentley, let me take a look at that real quick. I'm interested. But before I do, what do you think of Doki Doki Anomaly and you being in it? Well, intern Hatmaker, on one hand, I am very supportive of SCP games being made. I'm happy Dr. Sherman is useful to that cause. I don't like Doki Doki Anomaly for inspiring people to fraternize with anomalies. I find that frustrating. An SCP dating sim is not good protocol. But I do appreciate more SCP games being in the world, and Doki Doki Anomaly seems like a pretty good one. So who knows? Maybe it'll distract people with its gamingness, and they'll stop fraternizing with anomalies because they'll be playing the game too much. So, shops that are not IKEA but are anomalous. So there is an SCP Wendy's I know about. That'd be SCP-2915. It is a Wendy's restaurant in Ohio that has an anomalous cave underneath. A shaft that we have not been able to find the bottom of. It's pretty creepy. Other anomalous stores. SCP-4703 is an independently owned supermarket in Midland, Texas. So 4703 is one. SCP-3182 seems to be a grocery store. 2854 seems to be the Little Shop Mart of Horrors. Yes, there are a lot of SCP stores. I do know there's also an anomalous KFC out there somewhere. And I believe there's an anomalous McDonald's as well. You want to search the database for these. Chat, refresh please so I can utilize you. I'm trying to find something I saw in here. Where did it go? Okay, we're good. Dr. Sherman, we will take some for interrogation. We'll only leave the crater after the fight. That's better. and the anomalies, and the anomalies they contain there at their site. On the topic of anomalous stores, what's your top business group of interest? Me personally, it's Wondertainment. Huh. If I were going to be interacting with one of the businessier SCPs, maybe perhaps... The parties thrown by Marshall, Carter, and Dark are quite fun to attend on business. Barring you stay away from some of the more perverse clients. The things they do with those succubi are disgusting. All right, so, I see. Oh, Tumblr, you're so annoying. Okay, gotcha. So yes, the thing Pitt was talking about was someone reblogging a screen cap of one of my videos, where I guess a anomaly hit on me, much to my chagrin. I see. Alright, sorry. Some things, getting a little weird in the back channels. I had to refresh the browser, but we're good. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel loved. And May, thank you for sending a party hat to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they find it to sit pretty cunning, don't you think? Alright, all systems are go. Let me just check one more notification here to clear, and we can return to usual business. Thankfully we're good. There's so much to read. I'm just trying to read the rules to join the wiki. Why is there so much? Well, Dr. Singer, first and foremost, that is a big, what I call, soft barrier to joining the SCP wiki on somewhat purpose. When you're going to get people who do not fully go through the critique process, who do not think out their articles, who just slam something in a doc and then post it without seeing if it's any good, they are usually the ones without the attention span to read all the rules and to figure out how to join the wiki proper. So it works as kind of a soft barrier where anyone can come in. You're welcome. But you got to read the rules and successfully apply. And so I appreciate that it takes so damn long to join the wiki. And I mean, come on, I did it 13 years ago, back when I was young and dumb. So you can get it too. Frogman, Dr. Frogman, thank you for sending another floating heart. I'm sure the Containment Hazard Assessment team feels loved. And Sleep Deprived Dragon of the Night, thank you for sending a makeup brush. I am sure the chat feels very slay because of it. And Silent Follower, thank you for donating again to say good night. Enjoyed the chill vibes today. I enjoyed the chill vibes too. Good night to you, and we'll see you later, Silent Follower. Out of curiosity, what counts as anomalous? Like, say, aliens from our own universe that evolved and have a society. Do those count, need to be contained, or can they just chill? Intern Just Eyes, it depends on the canon, but most of the time the SCP Foundation treats aliens as if they are anomalous because they are not from our planet, and general humanity does not know about them. Now, if it got to the point where the aliens were known to the public, interacted on the news and things like that, we would probably have to integrate them into normalcy if we fail to contain them. But until we can't contain them, we contain them. Can you search 2 tags at once on the Wiki search? Amber, I do believe you can. I meant to answer this so much earlier. Thank you for asking again. So let's say, for the sake of argument, I wanted to find all. I go to the search bar in the top right corner of the site, and I wanted to search for, let's say, airplane anomalies. So I'm going to type in SCP as the first tag because I want to know if it's an SCP. And then I believe aviation? No. Aero? No. All right, let's just pick a tag that I don't have to guess what the fricking tag is. Let's go with feline. I just saw feline. So you want to know how many SCP cats there are. I type in SCP and cat, and we get 106 pages found for tags of SCP and feline. Honestly, I did not realize there were so many anomalous cats. 106 anomalous cats? That is so many. Okay. There you go. Anomalous cats. Of course, once you add the multiple tags, you can then also search for a term inside those articles to further narrow your search. But yes, anytime you're wondering what kind of anomalies there are, you can utilize the tag search to narrow your search really quickly. So please remember that and save those questions if you don't need to use them for stream time. Dr. Sherman, the basing question has no SCPs or anomalies. It's mainly a weapons warehouse to look for it. Okay, I am glad you've got that intel clarified. Keep an eye out just in case. I mean, the CI keeps a lot of things scattered because of their guerrilla nature, and so they might be hiding someone in there. But I approve this mission as long as you keep an eye out for any anomalies that might not have shown up on your initial scan. Wait, put the camera on again. I'm doing something wrong. What are you doing wrong, Amber? Ha! SCP Wiki Tech Support. Welcome. We are here to Geek Squad your geeky fandom. All right. What do you got for me? Let's put on this ear, then I can have the SCP logo as well. Just I had an introduction video to my animation account, but my voice sounded more high than it is Lamau. Also, when you do voice work, your voice naturally sounds lower because it's vibrating in your skull, but what you hear, what comes out without that, is a higher pitch. So your voice is higher pitched than you think to everybody. That's just the facts of voicing. The second bar is the one with the tags. That is true, Just Pit. You have not Just Pitch, what am I saying? Dr. Frogman. That is true, Dr. Frogman. That when you go to that site search, I put it in the tag SCP and cat, but it's showing 0. So let's say I came up here and I deleted these. We got rid of these. So I type in SCP, and boom. That's filter by tags, the second bar. Now, secondly, the tag is feline for SCPs. So if you put in cat, that will be your problem. It's the tag is feline because the tags are usually more technical terms because we're the Foundation and we're nerds and all that. Yep, got the second. How does one do the pen tricks you do? All right, intern ninja. So you hold the pen between your fingers and you wiggle it back and forth till it gets to horizontal. Then you catch it in the next finger, boom, there you are. Horizontal, catch, boom. Horizontal, catch, boom, over, over, under, over, under. Do it with your palm up. Gravity helps keep the pen in your hand, which is helpful. Doing it palm down is harder because gravity is trying to steal the pen. But it's like gravity times 50 training from Dragon Ball Z when you do it this way. Furthermore, make sure that you rotate it one way and then that you reverse it and rotate it the other. You saw nothing. And do it both hands. One way and the other, both hands. Get it together. All right, refreshing the chat. Got it, I see what I was doing wrong. Excellent, Amber. Was it the feline thing or was there another one? It also, I'm gonna guess, maybe you typed SCP cat before hitting enter, and so you didn't type SCP enter, feline enter. Maybe that was it. IRS, I dare you to try and get taxes from the SCP Foundation. The Unusual Incidents Unit of the FBI, your team, is afraid of us. When we show up on the scene, their literal documentation of what to do in the field says, hey, if the Foundation shows up, back up, because they're going to handle it. So yeah, no, I'm not afraid of the IRS. Get out of here. Has the SCP Foundation ever met the Heddle Foundation? Well, Intern Nitro, I'm not familiar with this Heddle Foundation, so I'm going to look it up. I find nothing when I search for that, so you're going to need to specify what it is you are speaking of. Intern Nitro. Why did you give SCP-999 a Glock? Well, Intern Reinhardt, when people keep trying to put SCP-999 in a blender, I feel it's only fair that 999 gets to defend itself. So they had it coming. I'm seeing multiple people saying Urban Shade mentioned. Is the Heddle Foundation an Urban Shade thing? Hadal Black Site Pressure. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So I do not believe there's been any crossover between Hadal Black Site and the Foundation, although we do work in similar fields. If anything, this would be a group of interest, Urban Shade would be, and we would collaborate or not collaborate on a case-by-case basis as we do with other groups of interest. What are your thoughts on Dr. Bob, if you're allowed to speak on him, that is? Intern, what's my color? Now, it's nothing personal. I'm just not a huge fan of the SCP animation channels in general. None of them really appeal to my sensibilities. But, now, when I say that, I mean the big animation channels. Rubber, Detective Void, Dr. Bob, SCP Explained. None of their style of animation really appeals to me. Now, just Alice's SCP Anomaly show, which sadly got recently put on hiatus, or Don Guidon's, the SCP animator we talked about yesterday, the indie artist, I'm all for them. But when it comes to the big animation channels, Dr. Bob and SCP Explained seem to be better of the set versus Void and Rubber, who I have problems with. Suffice it to say, also there's some lore in Dr. Bob and Explain that weirds me out a little bit, but they're not as bad. Brother, can you make it clap? If you mean the irons on your wrist, as I demote you to D-class, yes. Void ditched just a while ago. That's right, Oats and Rubber has basically ditched us because they're only putting up compilations nowadays. You mean Detective Void as the guy who would copyright strike other SCP works claiming it was taken from their own? Yeah, Void, I think it was one time copyright struck someone reacting to their video, which even claiming someone in the Creative Commons is a bit of a dick move, but claiming only means you're taking the money. But copyright striking them to try and end their channel is crazy when you're making videos about using a Creative Commons fandom. Alex the Shark, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Get yourself a Wafa Thin Mint on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation handle the Quiet Rapture? Honestly, the Congregation of Iron is the closest asset that the closest organization I would say. The way they handle it is essentially how we would handle it. And then Eden, with their death worship and that tree and all, they would be another group of interest that we would be annoyed with. But the Congregation of Iron is basically the Foundation in that verse. Intern Polar, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to try and keep their efforts improving so they can become better than third place. Dr. Frogman, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100 thanks to your urging. What does the Foundation think about people cosplaying other SCPs? Well, intern Firefly, I find it irritating when anybody in the public knows about the Foundation because we're a secret frickin' organization. But staff members are known to cosplay SCPs at staff events, Halloween parties, things like that. And my author above us is saying it's actually super cool when people cosplay SCPs, and hopefully I'll see you at the conventions if I get to go too. Ugh. Hate it when he does that. Intern Apex, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Desk, why are you sending me a tax platypus? What does this have to do with anything? Did you search taxes on the wiki and you found the Certified Platypus Accountant, the CPA, which is a platypus that does your taxes? Are you just on a thing right now? SCP-8042 is a sapient male platypus capable of instantaneous spatial and dimensional translocation and is anomalously durable. It has an obsession with finances and displays a manic desire to maintain them for any entity it encounters, to the point where it is willing to risk its own safety to achieve its goal. 8042 possesses a photographic memory regarding taxation and finances, is completely impervious to mimetic hazards in this regard. 8042 can also anomalously produce economic records for any entity it encounters, regardless of whether or not said entity has ever possessed any finances. Okay. 8042. Tax platypus. Interesting. Dr. Sherman, how would the SCP Foundation contain Omni-Man? So, intern Bill, consider what the Global Defense Association, the GDA, and Invincible is up to. That's basically us. Cecil is a great site director. High key, handling things. I like the way Cecil thinks. So yeah, that is, just go with what they're doing. They're on the ball. I appreciate what they're doing there. GDA stands for Global Defense Agency. Thank you, Bill. That entire operation is one big containment breach, though. Well, yes, but in a situation where the Earth knows about superhumans and things like that, they're doing the best they can with a bad situation. Now, could we do better? Probably. We probably wouldn't let it get that far in the first place. But at least what they got going on, I mean, capturing the weakened thing in a giant cell where it can't move so it can't build up momentum to escape, that's about the best the Foundation has in most technology. Intern Pekka, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. If Sukana's fingers was an SCP, what class they would be? Intern Thieves, or Thieves. They would be safe, because you can put them in a box and they stay there. Safe. We're over 200 likes. Nice. That is nice, Dr. Mootston. And as Java name said just a minute ago, I think it was Java name, we're at 200 likes for just shy of 2 hours of stream, which means probably it would take 200 times 5, so we'd be looking at a 6-7 hour stream. No, ignore that I said that, to get 1,000 likes at current rates. Intern Nitro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a French onion soup on your way past the commissary. Hey, it's me again. I would like you to search up the Vultus Luminaria and get your overall thoughts on them if not, that's all right. Well, let's take a quick peek. We can take a quick peek at the Vultus Luminaria. Vultus Luminaria. This is also from Pressure. Or searchlights, are dangerous whale-sized predators. Massive floating creatures with a large main body, 3 long wing-like appendages. Eyes, wings, side, tail, nail, and orange. Grand encounter appearing shortly after the tutorial on how to do generators, roughly around door 70. As the name implies, it has several searchlights, in this case eyes, on the underside of his body, which if the player is spotted, will emit a loud notifying sound similar to a whale's call. If the player does not get out of line of sight quickly enough, it will pierce the player's chest with a harpoon-like mechanism and drag them into its mouth, killing the player. So, my first thought is that don't get on the ocean floor. Stay above them. That sounds like a good starting position. Secondly, like most aquatic anomalies, these are actually easier to contain than you would think because there's not that many people in the ocean in boats at any one time. If we can cordon off their area and somehow follow them with a vessel to make sure things stay clear, perhaps that would not be a terrible containment similar to 169. Although that would depend on how many there are as well. Marcus Luiso, thank you for sending 3 bronze medals to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. That means 3 more times you have been 3rd place, but you're getting there. You're making your way up to silver and gold. I know it. Arg Sands, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100. What is your favorite SCP-001 proposal? Intern C, that would of course be SCP-001, codename Lily's Proposal, The World's Gone Beautiful. Despite its short length, it is exceptionally evocative, and if the world's going to end, that's the way I would want it to go. Intern Bushy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a gourmet hot pocket on your way past the commissary. Help, I went to a weird coffee machine, I typed in what I wanted, and I typed in sulfuric acid, and my brother stole it and he's melting. Help. So, did you type in what you wanted and then type in sulfuric acid just for the hell of it? And yeah, we're not going to have much to do for your brother except for heal whatever burns are healable by the med bay. Take your brother to med bay and we'll see what we can do. And don't do something so stupid again. I'm going to have to reprimand the security officer that was there to stop you from doing that. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say. Hold on. Before I answer that, Java name, or should I say rest in pieces to that guy's brother? Well, no, because they're melting and not falling apart, you would say rest in puddles. Haunted Researcher, have you heard of Pokemon fusions? If so, have you heard of Milchamp? I am familiar with Pokemon fusions. I am not familiar with Milchamp. And the thought that you're bringing it up to me worries me. Yep. That's just what I was expecting. Why? Why? I did not... The human mind has limited storage space, okay? There's only so much stuff you can keep in your noggin, and you put that in there. You put that in there. That's what you chose to do with your free will. This is why I rule you with an iron fist. I'm going to... Just wait till my mind control device is complete. Master of Salt, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some popcorn on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. What happens when you look at SCP-096 but you are dead, like in heaven? So what happens? First of all, it's not a he, it's an it. Anomalies are objects, not people. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Secondly, does it just attack you forever and you can't die? What happens? So why would you be dead and seeing 096's face? Does someone in heaven have a picture of 096's face? Doesn't sound like any heaven I'd been to. So, if you are dead, not on this plane of existence, then it doesn't matter, because 096 has killed you, or you're at least dead. But if you are on this plane of existence, therefore alive, you will be killed. If you're a ghost on this plane of existence, then, I mean, worst case scenario, 096 scratches at your spectral form, and then like it did with 682 when it couldn't win, it had a hissy fit, mental breakdown, and stopped attacking. That is the likelihood of scenarios. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again to say lol got you with that. Voided, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will remember to keep fighting for silver and gold. Sorry about saying that he is an it. Thank you for correcting me. You're quite welcome, Intern Coggins. You are quite welcome. Common mistake. We're not too mad. I make mistakes sometimes too, but it's important to keep it in line. Can we eat SCPs instead of containing it? Pretty please. There are certain anomalies you are allowed to ingest. Most of them, the answer is no. We will not be changing that list anytime soon. CD, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep fighting for silver because they just won a silver from Marcus Luiso and a gold. A silver and a gold. Containment Hazard Assessment team. You did it! You got silver and you got gold. Congratulations on improving your station. We'll see if you can keep up the good work along the way. And thank you, Marcus Luiso, for your generosity in showing them they could do better. Another day, another batch of employees asking to, quote, chat up the kitsune. The Kumiho would be pissed if it heard these morons. That is true. Remember, SCP-953 is not a kitsune. It is a Kumiho, a completely different anomalous entity. And 953 kills you even harder if you make that mistake. 953 kills you anyways, but if you make that mistake, 953 kills you even harder. Don't do that within earshot. Desk is alerting me that some people have been having fun making SCP versions of Pokemon fusions. 2 of which Desk has presented to me. The SCP-682 Pokemon and the SCP-999 Pokemon. Not bad. Not bad. Simple Gamer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cup of calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. And before I answer your question, Voided, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I know they've gotten silver and gold once, but they always need to keep fighting their way back to the top, so don't let them get complacent. Simple Gamer asks, the game Burglin Gnomes on Steam. Is there an SCP similar to the Gnomes? So let me look at these specific gnomes. I am unfamiliar with a Gnomes game. Burglin Gnomes. Burglin Gnomes. Is there a wiki for Burglin Gnomes? Okay, there is not a wiki for it, so I'll just look at the Steam page, I guess. Coming soon, so this isn't even a game yet. This is just a demo. Prepare to invade the houses of unsuspecting humans along with up to 5 friends, and then try to cause havoc as a gnome. Okay, so gnomes messing with things. Got it. Alright, so are there any gnomes on the SCP database is my first check. Let's go to... Who here listens to Daft Punk? Fallen Libra. Discovery was one of the first CDs I purchased. Daft Punk has a strong place in my heart. Random Access Memories? Mwah. Daft Punk all day long. I will one more time all over this place. Nope, don't close the browser. I need that to see the chat. I was just going to go back to the database and look for anomalous gnomes. So we do the wiki search and we type in the word gnome. There are 62 pages found with the word gnome, including one that seems pretty obvious, SCP-1054, the Garden Gnome. It is a ceramic garden gnome, 32 inches in height. When left in the same place for over an hour, green plastic blades of fake grass will start growing out of the ground at the base of the gnome. So it makes fake grass grow around it, and it will grow living pink flamingo, plastic flamingo, similar to 1507. Oh no, this is where the 1507s came from. 1054 caused the 1057s. It will also do garden gnomes. It will do digging dogs and bird baths. And so that is not necessarily the same thing, but it is a garden gnome at least. Yes, Oats, we have discovered the source of 1507s. It is it's 1054. 1054 made the 1507s. So you can check that out for more intel. Alright, so you can continue your search for garden gnomes there. Oats, 1054, it's on the Wiki database. Go check the database. Da 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 da. Whew. Oh, of course I'm yawning. We hit the 2-hour mark. The location of the gnome. Well, the 1054 document says it's kept in a steel-coated cell, sealed at all times. It doesn't say where the cell is. So we would have to inquire along with the different sites to figure out where 1054 is being kept. Okay, so what if SCP-173 is in acid? Does it die, or does it just be there not dying? Why not put it... It's not a him, it's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. It's literally a statue. It doesn't have a gender. It's an it. Does it just sit there? Why not put it in a pool of acid? I wonder what happens. So, number one, depending on the acid, it might damage or destroy 173, which we wouldn't do because we can't study it anymore. Secondarily, you can't forget 173's secondary anomaly, which is that it excretes approximately 37.5 pounds of blood and feces from an unknown source in its vicinity every single day. So if you left it in a pool, eventually that would create a surface lifting 173 to freedom. So keeping it in a pit is not a viable containment procedure. Not a Chaos Insurgency spy. Thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a creme fraiche on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I think you should give Desk a well-deserved break after all the bullshit and spamming he has to deal with. Well, I mean, do remember, I only stream 2 to 3 hours a day, so Desk has the rest of that time. I don't run Desk that hard, I don't believe. Desk will let me know if Desk needs a day off. You respect the Desk. You need to trust Desk. Da, 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 da. Dr. Sherman, I must ask if a picture of a human was shown to SCP-096. Well, probably whoever made the effort to put that picture in front of 096's face would end up dead, since they would inadvertently see the face while being that close to it. But no, 096 does not chase down people's faces who it has seen. Intern Derv, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some fried mozzarella on your way past the commissary. Hey, I'll be a researcher next year. Any writing tips? Well, go to the video on this channel called SCP Writing Tips from SCP Writers. That is a quick and dirty compilation of writing tips I have given. Furthermore, while you're still not a researcher, learn, study, read as many SCPs as you can, take writing classes, take critical analysis classes. Script analysis is usually a theater program in school, but it is for teaching actors how to understand the script and the themes and the motives so that they can perform better. These are the kind of things. Take improv classes so you can learn to think on your feet while you're writing and come up with new scenarios that are off the wall without stifling yourself by, no, that's not a bad idea. Improv people go for every idea, no matter how crazy. And so do some of those kind of classes that you can to improve your skill with performance as well as writing, and for loosening up your brain for idea having. And of course, practice your writing. Write stories. Get critique on them from your friends, and then make them better. And go back and forth. Right now, while you have the freedom, and then when you're writing for the SCP documents, you'll have to learn how to cram your stories into that format, but if you do everything I said, you'll have the analysis skills to understand how to do that. What is your favorite SCP? Intern Electric Cat. I always tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's a tradition around these parts. Now that means you could wait around for the next 55 minutes, because I think we're going to try for the full 3 hours today. Or you could send a donation, and I will simply say them right then, because if you do that, I might as well repay your generosity. Or you can cheat and go to yesterday's stream and watch the end of stream, because I said it then too. Will I die if I eat SCP-3008? Intern Shinobu. What do you mean, eat SCP-3008? The infinite IKEA dimension. What do you mean? Are you going to start eating the furniture? The employees? The survivors? What are you even thinking? What the hell are you? Some staff members, I tell you, man, we get all kinds here at the Foundation. Where is the Gate Guardian? The SCP-001 document for the Gate Guardian tells you pretty much exactly where it's located. Use your reading comprehension. I believe in you. Interns Wayne and Tirez. Welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What is your favorite SCP the new what is your favorite dinosaur? I believe it. Who wins? Goku versus Shy Guy. So, 096 is very durable, but Goku's on another level. That's not a fight. That's a massacre. Even we were able to defeat 096 by A, giving it a bath in 682's acid bath, B, shooting it with a whole lot of machine guns, and C, letting 173 continually snap the bones until there was barely anything left. That worked in one universe, so no, Goku is, that's not gonna happen. Dr. Sherman, response to your answer to my question, Site 418 is in Minecraft, and 387 is a model of Site 19 made out of SCP-387 Living Lego. Both are on the facility page. You should check them out. Well, that is interesting. Those are facilities. Why do we have a facility in Minecraft? Map of Foundation sites. I hate this page because it doesn't work. Site 418, the Foundation's first and currently only virtual containment facility, is built within the popular video game Minecraft. It is responsible for containing anomalies that are difficult to contain in the real world, such as informational para-organisms, as well as monitoring organizations and anomalies of concern that exist within Minecraft and the surrounding community. Most containment, experimentation, and maintenance works at Site 418 is done by the Minecraft Division, a division of the Foundation that specializes in containment and research relating to Minecraft. Objects contained in this facility are listed in Secure Facility Dossier, which is SCP-4335, obviously, but also SCP-3513 from the Chinese division, and SCP-6468. So there are 3 anomalies in the Minecraft division. Did not know that. That's interesting. Why am I a member? Intern Nugget. We had a very large gifted amount of memberships yesterday, and you were lucky enough to get one. Lucky you. And then Site 19's basement, Foundation's smallest site, 387, is a 1:42 scale replica of Site 19, primarily built out of 387, the living Legos. It contains Lego replicas of anomalies contained at the Foundation, imitating the anomalous properties of the original. Why'd you close? But only capable of affecting other structures composed of Lego. Within the plastic replica of Site 19, Site 387 staff of Lego minifigures are able to conduct safe and ethically approved tests using Lego simulations of real anomalies. And that is a list of SCP Lego settings. And so if you go onto the Secure Facilities Dossier 4387, you can see some of the anomalies in containment. CD23, thank you for donating again to say, desk is the best desk that ever desked high desk. Kudos to you, desk. Kudos to you. What happens if you put 035 on, put on 035 after you see 096's face? Well, you die when you put on 035. So, I guess you die? Seems pretty straightforward to me. There we go. If you were to outrun 096 for a really long time, let's say you can, or an entity can, and other people see 096, would it give chase to the easier prey and come after you later, or will it chase you? Intern Witch. 096 will kill en route to its kills. So if you are farther from the most recent person who's seen it, it will kill that person and then continue the chase. So does that mean it's hard to be gifted a membership? Well, Lizzie Skittles, the thing is, we have over 1 million followers. And every time we are gifted a membership, YouTube picks a random person out of those 1 million followers. So your chances are however many subs are gifted out of 1 million. But it is not purely random. It is weighted against how often, how much you interact with the channel. So when you like videos, comment on videos, chat and like the chat, the more you interact with the channel, the more YouTube is likely to give you a membership when some are donated. So keep being active, and that should increase your odds of receiving one when they are gifted. I've spoken to 953, they were rather present. Intern Stone, that is 953 trying to trick you into getting close. That way it can gut you and escape containment. Don't fall for its niceties. You're smarter than that. Here's a crazy SCP idea I've had. A bootleg game console that grants sentience to game characters in the ROMs, and they go to war with one another by invading each other's games, leaving ruins behind. So a little bit of Anomalous game console meets the living Legos who go to war with other building toys that are near them, like, oh, what are those called? The blocks that aren't Legos. I can't even remember their name right now. Point is, do not, yeah. And the Console Wars, as Shadow Milk says, is a good name for code name for that. If anything, I am wondering if the Console Wars is already an SCP name. And if I go to the search, that would have been smarter to do. Console Wars. Shocking that that code name is not taken. Very nice. Can Flash be killed or kill Shy Guy? Flash is one of the most broken characters in comics. Flash is not worrying about Shy Guy. Shy Guy does have an upper speed limit that is well below the Flash's capabilities. Flamingo hair. Well, Ella Sprite, that is the goal for 2,500 members on the Site 42 channel. When we get 2,500 members, I'm supposed to dye the highlights all pink next time. And so I'm looking forward to that because I would like to do that. I think it'll look really fly. But it's a goal for 25 members, so I'm waiting until that happens. Would the Doctor from Doctor Who be a Thaumiel SCP? No, Intern Daily. They are a Keter class SCP that needs to be contained post-haste. I'm tired of that timey-wimey bastard breaking out of boxes. Thank you for reading my chats. Well, you're welcome, Clintos Maximus. I do my best to answer both the donations and some certain white names along the way. And remember, this is a merit-based chat. The more interesting your question is to me, the more likely I am to answer it. I've heard some of these questions a million times over the past 10 months, basically, of streaming daily. So if you say something unique, I'm more likely to answer you even if it's a white name. Dr. Sherman, is it just me, or when you look to the side, does your hair, the red part anyways, look like a flamingo? Well, my hair does have this natural swoopiness to it. A little bit of a cowlick that goes woo-woo. And so, yes, I can see how you would see that. And if and when it finally goes pink, that would probably happen. I just went to a virtual Daft Punk concert. Fallen Libra, that is dope. Fortnite had one of those a season or two ago. And, oh my god, I was stricken. I was stricken because I love me some Daft Punk, and they did a really good job with that. For later. How would you cook and eat SCP-682? Well, there have been numerous times, I believe, that 682 has been eaten for one reason or another. 682 taste. Now, since it is a reptile, that leads me to believe that, like most reptiles, it tastes like chicken. Easy enough. Although I'm sure it has some toxic properties that would make it not very good to eat. Does the facility take tours, Doctor? Intern CMH, that would only be, or sorry, CMHI. That would only be if we are in a universe where the Broken Masquerade has happened and people are allowed to check out the facilities in order to make sure we're doing a good job. Intern Catherine, it is 5,000 membership goal to get the Dr. Sherman cat-made waifu stream, where I actually have to purchase a cat-made waifu dress and do the stream in it. So pink hair is 2,500, 5,000 is the cat-made waifu stream. I don't know why chat wanted that to be the reward, but that's what chat asked for. And strength-wise, where does Doom stop for SCPs, or does he kill them all? Doom Guy can get pretty high when it comes to demon and somewhat deity killing. But what Doom Guy doesn't fuck with is pataphysics. And pataphysics, going to a higher narrative level and deleting Doom Guy from the universe, that is the end of that. Meta bullshit trumps raw strength every time. What's after 5,000? Master of Salt. We are around 800 right now, and that's only thanks to JavaName donating 250 memberships yesterday. So we are a third of the way and a little bit less to 2,500. We'll talk about what happens after 5,000 if we get to 5,000. It's going to take some more time, I believe. We'll cross that bridge when we build it. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it. Intern Witsa, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And Lele, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some fruit salad, yummy, yummy, on your way past the commissary. Can submerge 173 in cement and let it dry? No, because you got to remember that 173's second anomaly is dispensing 35.5 pounds of poop and blood every day. And that mixture would crowd the cement around 173 until it broke open. Can't forget about the offal. Which I have heard of Lobotomy Corporation, but I have not played it yet. It is something I am interested in checking out. Is everything an SCP technically? Intern Ganzier, everything is an SCP if it is anomalous and contained by the Foundation on the SCP database. So not everything is an SCP. In fact, there are plenty of anomalies that are not contained or contained by another group of interest, and they are not SCPs because they're not designated by us as SCPs. Remember, anomalies is if it's anomalous. SCP if it's contained and documented by us. If you can make an SCP not exist, which would it be? Well, I believe I should pick something like the Scarlet King, something that is so devastating that if we got rid of it, then it would be a net benefit for humanity. As Desk says, if 2718 weren't to exist, then I'd sleep a lot better at night. So I think I'm going to agree with Desk on that. What comes after is horrifying. And of course, we could also go with that thing. That could also be my choice as well, and I would sleep easy. Dr. Sherman, what contributes to cognitive resistance value? I want it fresh from the source and not Google. Well, let me see what I can find on the proper database for you when it comes to clarifying it. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay. The funny thing is we do not have a whole lot of information on the database regarding cognitive resistance value. It seems... Oh boy. This should be interesting. All right, glossary of terms from the help page. A measurement of the mental fortitude and resistance of an individual to mind-altering entities, particularly those that are mimetic. Also known as cognitive hazardous resistance score, cognitive hazard resistance value, mental resistance score, mind-affecting resistance score, acronym MARS, or psychic resistance score, each measured using the corresponding scale. And so when it comes to cognitive resistance value, the CRV, the glossary and the SCP database as a whole does not give a lot of canon information. Now it is, to my belief, headcanon one might say, that you are able to train your cognitive resistance value through certain practices. Going to check another SCP to see if it helps us understand. It's going to be on the second page, probably. All right, it's not listed there like I wanted it to be. What do you mean it will require a cognitive resistance? Oh, okay. I just saw something in the site search that mentioned a cognitive resistance value of 742. Now, reminder, 2316 only requires a 14.5. The researcher who was assigned to SCP-3000 because their cognitive resistance value is so high was at a 26. So a 742 sounds crazy until you remember that that is for SCP-6442, which is specifically a cognitohazard engineered by us to kill omniscient beings. Because if you are omniscient, you can spy on us, and we don't like that. And so once you are omniscient, you have knowledge of everything, you have knowledge of this cognitohazard, dead. We killed a lot of gods with that one. All right, so 136 pages on the database mention cognitive resistance value, but none of them actually mentioned what it is to have a high one. So I am going to go with my standard headcanon that there are ways you can either be inoculated with memetics or train your cognitive resistance value to be higher. But other than that, I don't have much intelligence for you, unfortunately. All right, I'm returning to the chat. It has to refresh. Double check a notification here. We're clear. Rave Haven, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some Laffy Taffy. Some Laffy Taffy. Oh, on your way past the commissary. Daily donation for you. Well, thank you kindly for your generosity to help us keep the ship running. Not a Chaos Insurgency spy. Desk had a puppy emergency to deal with. They will be back shortly. A low effort, low danger emergency. Not a bad thing. Relax. Relax. Have you played any of the observation duty games? I think you would like it. Intern Jax, I have not, but I have watched streamers play observation duty. It does look fun. What would happen if an immortal SCP read the virus book that when you read each one you get it? Well, Intern Imor, the problem is that being immortal doesn't mean you are without pain, without aging, without disease. And so I imagine an immortal SCP being forced to read all those pages would end up with a whole lot of disease and be very uncomfortable. I found a way to kill SCP-682. Well, Intern Purple, I am very interested in what you've got to say. Hit me. Have you ever played an SCP game? If so, which one? Well, one time, Sea of Thieves, I did a collaboration with SCP Secret Lab, and I played a couple hours trying to learn how to play that game. It's hella chaotic, way above my pay grade. I also have on this channel recording of playing SCP Fragmented Minds, which is very similar in mood to Prey 2017. And so those playthroughs are on this channel if you want to look at them, either in stream format, VODs, or in a edited format by our editor, Synth. Oh, I also played a little bit of Containment Breach on stream, just a hair. Dr. Sherman, I don't know why, but all of my requests I sent to the O5 Council is approved, and a single one has been denied. Of the 523 requests I'm confused for, I'd assume at least one wouldn't. No. Listen, Oates. I hate to do this to you. It's like telling someone that Santa Claus isn't real. You're not sending requests to the O5 Council. I barely get to send requests to the O5 Council. You think a staff member underneath a site director is going to be able to just chat them up 523 times? No. No, I'm getting your requests, and thankfully you're not incompetent, so I get to approve them. But no, the O5 Council is not clearing you. Come on, think about that a second. Rank and file members of the Foundation, some of think that the O5 Council isn't even real because they're so secretive. So, no, you're not sending things directly to the O5. Well, what's with the dyed hair? Well, QWERTY, it looks pretty fabulous, wouldn't you think? I think that's a good enough reason. Santa's an SCP? Yes, intern Ganzier. In fact, there are, to my knowledge, 5 different Santa Claus anomalies. If I go to the SCP Holiday Hub, which is a wonderful page if you're looking for SCPs about a specific holiday, then on the Holiday Hub of the SCP database, you scroll down to Christmas, and SCP-112 from the Portuguese branch is Santa Claus's Bounds. Let's see, what else we got? Bailey Santa, SCP-1933, is disgusting. The Laplander, I think, is a Santa Claus? Saint Nick, obviously 3355, is one. Santa Claus Time Traveler, SCP-4255. The Holly King is probably a Santa Claus. Sir Nicholas is coming to town, Santa Claus. Yeah, we are lousy with Santa Claus. Almost as lousy as we are with Anomalous Jesus, of which we have 6 different Anomalous Jesuses. Yes, Virginia, there are SCP Santas. Nice, Amber. Nice. Movie pitches. SCP-610 is worthy of one. I agree, Intern Heimlich. You get some Cronenberg stuff and some flamethrowers, you can make a hell of an SCP-610 horror action flick. Love it. Good thinking for a classic SCP. Yeah, that is the stream subject, but we have not been talking a whole lot about it, you notice. I just read 7700. Oh my god, Dr. Sumerian, that hit. Woo, just pit. You are correct. That is a, woof. That is one, all right. If you lock SCP-999 with 096 forever, will he stop chasing people? It's an it, not a he. 096 is an it. All anomalies are objects, not people. Please practice proper pronoun protocols at the Foundation. If you lock 999 with 096 forever, will it stop chasing people? No. Because 999 does not have that strong an effect on 096. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tickle. It's a little bit of good feeling. But if someone sees the face, 096 is going to zoom. And that zoom is much faster than 096, so no. Corrupted Nihility, thank you for donating again to say. Movie of the fight between A1, O1, and R1? Alpha 1, Omega 1, and... Which movie is this? Or which tale is this? Let me know when you can. Corrupted Nihility. Because I'm not familiar with that scenario off the top of my head. Intern Amir, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Oats, I do believe it's Alpha 1, Omega 1, and Resh 1. But I don't remember with them fighting. Ganzir asks, Site 42 movie? Well, the point of Site 42, besides signal boosting other SCP content creators, is eventually getting large enough that we can utilize the Markiplier unfathomable amounts of money to make our own film similar to Markiplier's journey, going from gaming videos to Heist, to In Space, to Iron Lung. And so if we follow down that path, hopefully, Site 42 will be producing its own SCP films along the way. Only if we can cast Danny DeVito or Terry Crews to play Clef. Clef does not get Terry Crews. Clef does not get Terry. DeVito, especially... So anyway, I started blasting. I can see that. 4494 would make an amazing action movie. No. What off the top of my head, Oates is 4494. The Spectre. Yes, we talked about the Spectre earlier. As a good point. Yes. Wait, I just came back to Site 42, the movie? No, you came back to us talking about the things that would make good action movies in the future. That's the stream subject. What SCPs would make for good action movies? Earlier, we talked about the Spectre, 4494. We mentioned 5000, obviously. What happened to Site 13? Obviously. Do not go gently into that Shark Night, which is my personal cross to bear. But there are plenty of action-adventure SCPs that can make good, not pure horror movies, but action horror. 610 would be great. The Yule Man could be a really good movie idea about a child who witnessed the events of, I can't find the name of the event. A Weissnacht event, yes. So, Yule Man could be really fun as a horror movie, similar to this horror movie that came out, God, early 2000s. It was called Darkness Falls. And Darkness Falls, I kid you not, is what if the Tooth Fairy were a horror movie villain? And I saw that in theaters, and whoo, I was scared of the dark for a little while. Not a great movie, but a fun movie. And so the idea of that movie is that the kid survives as a kid, but then grows up paranoid and eventually has to go back to the town where it's all happening and try to fix the issue. And so what if our kid survives the Yule Man as a youth in an opening scene and then grows up and eventually has to face the Yule Man as an adult? That's a good-ass movie. Whoever said that, give that person some glory. Who did it? Which one of you? Who is the glorious person? I need to know, for my own edification. Not a Chaos Insurgency spy. You did it. Very good. Now, not a very good idea, unfortunately, Sea of Thieves. We can't do 3008 very well, because IKEA will hella sue us. Hella. They sued an SCP game for 3008 and got it shut down. They do not like being associated with SCP. They let us go as long as we're not making money or too popular. But ooh, we would have to do SCP-3008, the Infinite Furniture Store, to ever get it done. Now that being said, if I got the unfathomable money that Markiplier has and found the opportunity to purchase a burnt-out, abandoned, closed IKEA, ooh, we would have some SCP-3008 LARPs, and we would film some SCP-3008 content and movies and TV shows in there. It would be a perfect setting. It'd be like when they made the TV show Scrubs, and they used an abandoned hospital. So like one floor is the business offices, and the next floor is everyone's home sets, and the next one is everyone's, the hospital settings. So, ooh, that would be fun. Computer Head, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain that they will be inspired to keep fighting for the gold and silver along the way. Desk is recommending SCP-2273, Major Alexei Belatrov of the Red Army's 22nd Armored Infantry Division. which is the Bug Soldier. Bug Soldier is a good character. I don't remember. There's a lot of interviews. So, further statements redacted. Person of interest file. Is there an actual scenario here, or we have a character who would be good in a fight and we need to make a scenario for them? I'm not familiar fully with that story. Intern Shinobu, thank you for sending another bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to fight for the silver and gold with your motivation. Corrupted Nihility, thank you for donating again to say. Tanhoni's proposal, Dead Man, I believe it was. I am unfamiliar with that SCP-001 proposal. Tanhony Dead Men SCP. Tanhony's proposal. Do we have a summary that I can go through real quick? Tanhony proposal. Thank you, SCP Declassified. If you ever need information about a confusing SCP, I highly recommend the subreddit SCP Declassified. They are a group of mostly SCP authors. I believe some people aren't authors, but I think most of them, if not all of them, are. But they look at other people's articles and they break them down and explain them so that you can get the point. Especially with the more confusing articles, this is a great way to do. So, what is Dead Men? Blah, blah, blah. Old Man had been merged with the concept of death itself. This is allow the Foundation to control death, for example. The Foundation has engineered the Old Man to be unable to perceive certain people, meaning that death cannot perceive these people, thereby making them unable to die. The entire O5 is affected by this, making them immortal. The description also explains the silencing of the groups of interest mentioned in the containment procedures, as they were the ones to undergo this merger of the Old Man and the conceptual death. Interesting. One thing to note is that certain personnel may be affected by this, as personnel is considered and approved by the O5 Council will also be exempted from death. Replace the host of 001 as the Old Man merged with the conceptual death is too frail for the O5 and the Foundation to manipulate freely. It is also possible that 001 may simply die from old age. The Foundation established Flamel 17 in order to merge death with a potential D-class in order to manipulate death should the current 001 expire. And then, what stops the Foundation from fucking up and starts with an E? Eccentricity. People die. And so you're thinking this is an action movie? I don't, at least from this description, don't see a lot of running guns, but maybe there's something in the actual article with people running and gunning. But nah, man, I'm looking for gunfire, explosions. We're being silly today. I want something with stunts. Pyrotechnics. This does not look like an action movie to me, but I'm happy to hear more. Obviously, I can't do more than skim without being completely silent for 20 minutes or more on stream, which is why I can't often read these longer articles, in case you don't know. It'd be really boring watching me read them the whole thing. So, but let me know if there's more to that Corrupted Nihility in a way that would make it happen. On 001, there's a fight between Resh, Alpha 1, and Omega 1. Is that in that one? Is that in that one? Alpha. Fighting throughout. 4 men and 2 women are lying down in O5 meeting. When they've been shot in their heads, they are not dead. 1 man is lying down in communication center. The group's shoulders fighting through Site 1. Also red right hand. Omega 1 laws left hand. 3rd group is unknown, but tactics are consistent with Foundation training. So there's like one little scene of a fight. So here's what I'm getting at. There's one raid in this article. So that's not necessarily a whole action movie's worth of fight. Even if you did like an Avengers airport scene with the mobile task forces. But the mobile task forces aren't often that cinematic as superheroes are. So I don't know, a bunch of guys shooting guns at each other does not make for an action movie in and of itself. Oh. My stomach is hungry. Good news, everyone. We are 9 minutes from the end of stream, and the site director needs to hit the commissary. So, 9 minutes left in stream. Let's finish on a high note. Chaos Insurgency Troop, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, Heat Flamesman, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a... Oh, God, I'm so hungry. Grab yourself a Frankfurter on your way past the commissary. I wonder what you want for me to get from the commissary today. Also, join the Chaos Insurgency today, chatters. No, I'm recruiting from the Chaos Insurgency to bring you back into the fold. It's the opposite of that. Intern Curtis, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And Java Name, thank you for generously sending another 10 Site 42 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you got one of those memberships, make sure to thank Java Name for their generosity in helping to buttress our troops of green names to help us win the battle against the white names. Dr. Sherman, what's your opinion on the Leviathan? Intern Hughes, I don't really have one. It's big fish. It's slightly difficult to contain, but other than that, it's big fish. I don't have much of an opinion on Leviathan. And anyways, I prefer SCP-5320 to SCP-169, because at least SCP-5320, our Lord and Savior, the infinite fish, the longest boy, the fish that just goes on forever, is at least kind of comical along the way. Chaos Insurgency Troop, thank you for joining again to say, why don't you like the Chaos Insurgency? Because I work for the Foundation. And the Chaos Insurgency are traitor defectors from the Foundation. So I think they are a bunch of dicks, douchebags, losers. I will never forget the stream that Rad appeared and told off chat. Ah, yes, that guest appearance from Radiger as well as the rest of the SCP crew in person was pretty funny. That was back near the beginning of August, if you want to go back and see those streams. I think the Leviathan looks tasty, Dr. Sherman. It'll eat you first. Be careful. Doc, what is your opinion on the Global Occult Coalition? Better than the Chaos Insurgency, but that's not saying much. Dr. Sherman, would you count Thomas the Tank Engine as an SCP? Because it has a face, can talk, feel pain, but moves and acts like a normal E2 class locomotive. Because the Polar Express is an SCP. Is the Polar Express an SCP? I know it's anomalous, but I don't think it's an SCP. Now, furthermore, Yes, Thomas the Tank Engine and its kind would be anomalous because living trains are anomalous. Am I allowed to eat SCP-999? In turn, Shinobu. If you were to digest any part of SCP-999, it would tickle all the way through your digestive tract, which would be increasingly uncomfortable as it proceeded from start to finish. Denied. I'm 90% sure that if you give a taco and a preparation month to Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies, he could easily defeat the SCP Foundation. All right, I am not getting into this with Crazy Dave again. Listen, we paid you off. You stay away from our facilities. Keep those plants to yourself. No, Dave. Can I eat the peanut SCP? It's made of concrete. What is with you all trying to eat anomalies? We can't contain and research them if you digest them. No. Dad joke. I wanted to meet the 6313 team, but I didn't have the time. Is SCP-6313 some sort of plant or culinary-based anomaly by chance? Collection of dried thyme leaves. All right, well that answers that. And with a pun like that, as Des says, of course it's written by Dr. Sumerian. Libra, I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope the rest of your day is better. I've been in that situation before. It's not fun. What if we put billions of mosquitoes in SCP-682's chamber? Then it would evolve a harder carapace that could not be punctured by mosquito proboscis. So, no, not going to work. What furry anomalous things are there? Intern Kit, there are many animal-based anomalies. If I simply go to the database and type, let's see, animal, primate, there's no mammal, so we can't do it just by fur. But let's go to the tag cloud. Nope, to get to the tag cloud, I have to pick an SCP, and I have to go to the bottom, and I have to pick a tag. So, animal. Because we have dog as a tag, right? Oh, we have canine as a tag, canine. And we have feline. Do we have goat by chance? I don't know. Mammal. There are a lot of tags, and there's a lot of furry anomalies. Just by going through tags of feline and canine, you're getting a lot of anomalies there. Do we have equine? Do we have equine? I bet we do. QRSTUV. Empathic, end of death, engagement, entropic, equine. There we are. So you can have horses. Horse anomalies. Yeah, you'd be better off going to the tag cloud and picking what kind of animal you want to look for at this point. Double checking notification there. We are all clear. $369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a frittata on your way past the commissary. Just saying, Doc, Alpha 9 Last Hope will work great for a series of films. Includes Rainer Miller, The Spectre, and The Bug Soldier, the SCPCU. Yeah, if you wanted to use Alpha 9 to make, you could do individual movies and scenarios and then Avengers them all together. I could see that going pretty well. Is it bad for a Mobile Task Force captain, aka me, to cry from stress? Intern Libra, everybody goes through the horrors here at the Foundation. And so, stress and breakdowns are common, and you should go to the on-site therapist to see if there's anything they can do to alleviate your stress, or practice self-care of some kind, or at least go out to a bar and imbibe various poisons that cause you to feel of a higher elevation, mentally. AKA, do something to relax and feel better. We all get there. Crying is nothing to be ashamed of at the Foundation, trust me. And Site42 staff, we are at the end of stream. And as always at the end of stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be sheer narcissism. I wouldn't do that. But if you want to see the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm Site42 Hub and SCP author page on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects too. And while you are there, one tab over from the SCPs I wrote, there's a list of links. Links that people are often very interested in finding, but they just don't look hard enough. It's so sad for them. But if you want to find those links, you can become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Or you could go with our sponsor, Site42 in the scpstore.org, get yourself a Foundation Fitness Initiative shirt or a Reservoir Docs t-shirt at the SCP store. Link in our Beacons chat, our pin chat here. Either way, whatever way you can, financially help Site42 if you can, then we appreciate it greatly. Your generosity helps us keep the lights on for myself, Desk, and the rest of the team. And if you are one of those broke gang, trust me, we understand. Starving artists are a thing in arts communities, don't get us wrong. But if you want to support us despite being monetarily lacking, you can help us with engagement. As part of the Mobile Task Force Sci-42 codename Signal Boosters, when you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat in the streams, not just for us, but for the SCP content creators we support as well, such as the SCP animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, as well as the SCP authors and artists on the SCP Wiki proper. When you help us out, you are helping us to get bigger and better SCP films and games and all the like, and we appreciate your service for that. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on these last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 399304308-J, Spooky-J, 503151755320, content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Site-42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site-42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Last night, I had a dream about you. In this dream, I'm dancing right beside you. And it looked like everyone was having fun. The kind of feeling I've waited so long. Don't stop, come a little closer. As we jam, the rhythm gets stronger. There's nothing wrong with just a little fun. We were dancing all night long. The time is right to put my arms around you. You're feeling right, you wrap your arms around too. But suddenly, I feel the shining sun. Before I knew it, this dream was all gone. Go. I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I wish this dream would come true. Ooh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you. We'll make this dream come true. The credit song is Digital Love by Daft Punk. I changed the song of the day because I was inspired earlier in the stream. Sometimes I do that. Be safe, be well, Site-42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect.